All right, here we are back with our homework for Wednesday, October 1st. There's no homework for Tuesday, September 29th because there's no school that day. So I'll be nice and not give you homework on it. All right, number one, use the read, draw, and write process to solve each problem. I'm only going to help with number one, and there's only 3 problems, so it's like I'm doing a third of your homework for you. A book company sold 342,380 copies of a book in the first week. The company sold 361,419 copies in the second week. After 3 weeks, the book company had sold 923,468 copies of the book. All right, so first week they sold this much, second week they sold this much. At the end of the third week, they sold this much, meaning total for weeks 1, 2, and 3. They didn't tell us how many they sold on week 3. I'm guessing we're going to have to figure that out. Well, let's read on. Estimate the number of copies of the book the company sold in the third week. Round each value to the nearest 10,000. All right, so we're estimating, we're guessing, but they tell us what we're rounding to. We're rounding to the nearest 10,000. All right, so the first week, our number is 342,380. The 10,000 is our 4, so the 2 is going to tell us if we're going to round up or down, and 2 is under 5. Remember, if it's under 5, we round down. If it's 5 or up, we round up. So that's going to put us at 340,000 for our estimate. All right, you'll see why we're doing this in a minute. Hang with me. Our next one is 361,000. We don't need to worry about this right now. The 1 is telling us that the 6 is going to go up to 7 or stay at 6 with a bunch of zeros after it. 4 to be honest. So we look, 1 is below 5, so that's going to put us at 360,000. Now it tells us our total number was 923,000. We're going to need to round that also, so when we do our subtraction, we'll make everything a little bit easier. So 3, again, below 5, so that's going to give us at 920,000 books in 3 weeks. That's a lot of books. All right, well, we got to add first. We got to add, because remember, this is our main total, so it's the first week plus the second week plus the third week to figure out how many total books were sold. So let's add these together. We're going to put 0, 0, 0, 0. 4 plus 6, give you nothing to think. That's correct, that is 10. So we'll put our 0 here, and we'll bring that over and carry it on top there. So now we have 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So our estimated total is 700,000 in the first 2 weeks. So now to find out what our estimate is for the third week, we're going to take that number over and subtract the 700,000 from the 920,000. So 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0, 2 minus 0. If you have 2 fingers, you don't take away anything because you take away 2, you're still holding up 2 fingers. But now if we all have 9 fingers, and we take away 7 fingers, and we're done, we only have 2 fingers up. So our estimate for the third week would be 220,000 books. Now it tells us, find the number of copies of books the company sold in the third week. All right, so now we do the same process, but with the real numbers. We're not estimating anymore. It says find the number of copies. It doesn't say estimate. So let's put our numbers on. Add 3, 4, 2, 3, 8, 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 1, 9. Remember, make sure we stay nice and neat so we don't get ourselves confused with where stuff's supposed to be. So 0 plus 9 is 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. 3 plus 4 is 7. I need to see my comma there because my line. 2 plus 1 is 3. 4 plus 6, 10. Bring that 1 over. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 4 plus 3 is 7. So our real number is 703 28,799. So let's put our real number here for the total we sold in 3 weeks. We're doing it the same way as we did for for A, not problem 1, it's all problem. As we did on part A, same process, just with the real numbers. So now we're going to put over here 923,468 minus the number we found when we added the first 2 weeks together. Because remember, we got to find out how many we had the third week. So if we had week 1 plus week 2, which is this total, and we subtract that, because we know this is how many total books were sold in all 3 weeks, it'll give us the number for week 3. So let's put the number 703,799. Good. Now we're just doing it again. Remember, we're using standard algorithm right now. If you want to use a place value chart, absolutely fine, because it says use the read and draw and write process. But there's not a lot of space right now, so I figured I would show you the way that we've been practicing in this unit, in this 5 or 6 lessons we're working on that's leading up to our next quiz, which will be probably Friday. Just throwing that out there. All right. We have 8 minus 9. I can't take away 9 from 8 because that would be a negative number. That's not allowed. So we're going to next door. 5 there now. And on top of our 8, we now have 18. We can do 18 minus 9. That gives us 9. So we have 5 minus 9. Still can't do that. Let's go borrow again. So that'll bring that 10 more. That gives us 15 minus 9. 15 minus 9 is going to be 6. Now we have 3 minus 7. We can't do that again. Next door we go again. There's 2 left over there. Now we have 13 minus 7 is 6, comma. All right, 2 minus 3. Still can't do that. Next door leaves us 1 over there. Now we have 12 minus 3. 12 minus 3, 9. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now we have 1, yes, we don't have to borrow. Finally, 1 minus 0. We have 1 the other way. We still have 1. Now we have 9 minus 7 is 2. So the total number of books sold on week 3 is 219,669. Okay, let's look at part C. Is your answer reasonable? Use your estimate from part A to explain. So, this is our answer. Our answer is 219,669. We estimated 220,000, right? And we estimated. So our answer is smaller, but that's fine because we were estimating. We weren't going to get the exact number because when we added here, we all had all zeros. These numbers here were making some of our numbers down here bigger. So that's what made the number big. Yes, this is a reasonable estimate. So is your answer reasonable? I would say yes, because it was close to the real answer. I'll put an exclamation point because I feel good that we did that the right way. Again, check my numbers. I might make a mistake. I might make a mistake in accident. I may make a mistake on purpose just to see if you're paying attention. Alright, our next one is another story problem. I will read you the problem. I'm not going to do it for you. A soccer stadium has 93,810 seats. It has 28,654 more seats than a baseball stadium. How many total seats do the baseball and soccer stadiums have? Estimate to find the answer, then find the real answer. Remember, this is not a one-step problem. You cannot just add this number plus this number to get the answer. It's a 3-step problem. Alright? You're going to have to subtract and then add the 2 numbers together. I'll give you that much. You're going to have to subtract this number because it has more seats. The soccer stadium has more seats than the baseball stadium. So you have to subtract to find out how many seats the baseball stadium has, and then add the number of soccer stadium seats to the number of baseball stadium seats, and that will give you your answer. On the back we go. Well, you guys got this one. It wants to know how much this 9 is worth, right? The value of the underlying 9 is blank times as much as the value of the circle 9. So the circle 9 is 90. The underlying 9 is for 900. How many times? Remember that trick for something with zeros in there you're supposed to remember. That's all I'm saying with that. Alright, hope that helped. Again, that was the homework for Wednesday, October 1st. See you on the next one.